Welcome back to all the students interested in learning more about cloud computing concepts. This is Cloud Computing Concepts Part 2. This course, just like the first part of the cloud computing concepts, remains about the internals of cloud computing, which means distributed systems and distributed algorithms that underlie today's cloud computing technologies. What underlies the hood is what we are going to be focusing on in the second part as well. We'll discuss concepts and techniques and applications of these to industry systems as well as open source systems. This second part of C3, the Cloud Computing Concepts course, builds on the Part 1. C3 Part 1 is a prerequisite for Part 2. We will be reusing and relying on many of the concepts you have learned in Part 1 throughout Part 2 for the homeworks, for the material that we discuss, as well as for the optional programming assignment. So what are we going to cover in C3 Part 2? We'll continue our discussion where we left off in Part 1 and focus on more classical algorithms, including lead election, mutual exclusion, and scheduling, all of which are used in pretty much all the cloud computing systems today. We'll look at a discussion of scalability. How do you support millions of clients with concurrency control and hundreds of servers and replicas with replication control? We'll look at new trending areas such as real-time stream processing, distributed graph processing, and also wisdom and structure of networks, as well as new areas like sensor networks. And finally, we'll discuss areas related to cloud computing such as distributed file systems, distributed shared memory, security, and we'll see case studies of what happens when things go wrong in data centers. And we'll continue interviews with our friends in industry as well as academia. What we'll be relying on from C3 Part 1 includes classical precursors, information about the widely used algorithms and classical algorithms that underlie cloud computing systems, things that you've already learned in Part 1, as well as knowledge about MapReduce and key value stores that you've seen in Part 1. Just like Part 1, here in Part 2 as well, we're going to have homeworks. Here we'll have weekly homeworks. In addition, you'll be doing a programming assignment, which is optional, and it's in C++. In this programming assignment, you're going to be implementing a fault-tolerant key value store inside an emulator that emulates a distributed system. This builds on the programming assignment from the Cloud Computing Concepts Part 1, so I highly encourage students who have not taken Part 1 yet to go and take a look and even try out the programming assignment from Part 1. And of course, at the end of the course, there's going to be one final exam. Cloud computing continues to be an exciting area, one that is dynamic and continuously changing. And I hope you will continue this journey with me as we complete our tour through the cloud computing concepts landscape.